everyone, welcome back to another video from killerreviews.com. That's me, along with like 5 other writers and a bunch of fucking awesome users. My door's unlocked. I just noticed my door's unlocked. And last time I left it unlocked, a guy in a Ronald McDonald's costume broke in and bent me over my bed. And it wasn't pretty. So I need to go lock my door real quick. Alright, door locked. So my last video in this Voltron t-shirt session is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Now if you're new to my channel, I do a podcast, I do 2 podcasts, well I do a couple podcasts. One is Killer Reviews Podcast. That's hosted at killerreviews.com. I also do a podcast, which I haven't done. I'm reviving, if you will, after a few years, called Digging Up the 80s. And we review 80s movies. So I decided to start doing some YouTube videos for my 80s movies that I've been revisiting. And this video, which you know, because you saw the title, is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. What a classic. But before we get into Mr. Ferris Bueller and his day off, let's do a toast. If you can't tell, I've had a couple of these. Let's toast to the YouTube channel. Oh, surprise. Hello, burp. Cheers, guys. Ooh, that's so fucking disgusting. So I got my notes here, and my notes are so fucking terrible. Like, I hate actually writing. I'll type you a book if you want, but writing, I'm so impatient by how slow it is. I barely like write words down, so I gotta look at it real carefully. So Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Let's go back in time. I saw this movie in the theaters, right? I saw this in the theaters. Fucking respect, right? And I saw that I couldn't get in unless my older brother took me. And he took me with his friend Kevin. And I remember watching this movie in the theater, loving it. And at the end of the movie, my brother's friend Kevin, he leans over to me and he goes, "Dude, good call on this movie. Good pick." And it's funny, man. Like, what was that? Like 30 years ago. 30 years ago. I'm an old motherfucker. I'm an old motherfucker. That was 30 years ago. And I don't think I'll ever forget. I remember Back to the Future, who I saw that with as well. And Return of the Jedi, too. I mean, I was young, man. I was young at that point. I was 8 years old. Wait. 5, 6, 7, 8. I was born in 77. Yeah, I was like 8 or 10, whatever it was, seeing these movies. So, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Oh, we're not going to recap the plot. Ferris took a day off from school. How about that? So, let's talk a little bit about John Hughes, who is no longer with us. John Hughes, for me, he is, and he was, such a big part of my childhood. He really was, man. Like 16 Candles, which I learned tonight was his first directorial debut. This guy just, I don't know, man. Some people are just born to do something, and this guy was just born to make movies. Like, it's amazing. You watch so many movies, like countless movies that just aren't great, and you're like just something went wrong somewhere from like script to the end product, you know. But this guy John Hughes, man, like everything from like the casting to the writing to the editing to the music, like how you feel at the end of the movie, like the flow of the movie, the tone of the movie, like it's all of these elements just make a John Hughes movie, and it's so rare that you get such masters in this art, honestly. So before this movie, he did Weird Science, which is another one of my favorites, and after this, he did Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And this guy has a huge writing credit too. Honestly, I'm not too familiar with a lot of his writing credits, besides the ones he directed. But on IMDb during research today, he definitely had a crap load of writing credits. So yeah, I mean, Weird Science before this, and then after this was Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And the film stars, of course, Matthew Broderick, Alan Ruck, Sara, and Jeffrey Jones. And Matthew Broderick, it's funny, I've watched interviews with him about this movie. He's nothing like Ferris Bueller, and he didn't quite get the whole thing when he was filming it, Like, he's not at all this type of guy. And he said he felt uncomfortable being that type of guy, Like, it's not really, it's way out of his element to be the cool guy. He's never been the cool guy, he said. And, but, I mean, does he not nail it? I mean, I don't know, man. Like Ferris Bueller is Matthew Broderick, It's so that's him. I mean, I'm telling you, like one of my major points of this movie is the casting. It's like everybody was that's just their role. I mean, I don't know how to explain that. It's all so right. And what I found interesting when I saw this movie. Actually, I'll do that point in a few minutes. I want to talk about the scenes in general. What I think makes... Well, I've already talked to you about why I think the movie's so great as far as the casting, the writing. But for me, movies my favorite movies, right, that I tend to watch over and over, they seem to have so many scenes that are awesome, right? It's like you watch Ferris Bueller's and you go, oh, this scene's great. Like oh, the scene when Ferris sings Twist and Shout. Oh, that's so great. Oh, the scene where the guys take the Ferrari, in the car garage. Oh, that's so great. Oh, the scene where Ed Rooney's, in the principal office and he says he's been absent 9 times. And then you see the computer go 9, 8, 7, and he goes down 2. Boom. And he goes, Grace! I mean, there's that scene. There's a scene with Jennifer Grey and Charlie Sheen in the police office, when, he's like, so what are you waiting here for? Drugs, And he goes, maybe you should be spending, a little less time thinking about your brother, a little bit more time thinking about yourself. I mean, there's scenes where there's kids in the hallway with the change, trying to save, get money to save Ferris. The scene where the principal goes into the bar, and he asks, what's the score? 0-0. Who's winning? The Bears. I mean, every scene in the movie is entertaining. You know what I mean? And I don't think there's a lot of movies. There's not a lot of movies. When you look at how many movies get made today, there's not a whole lot of them where every scene is awesome. And I was thinking about this, and the movie Sex Drive came to mind when I was making my notes up. For me, that's a movie that every scene is really fun to watch in the movie. I've seen Sex Drive probably 10 times the past 5 years. But that's one of the great things about Ferris Bueller's Day Off is there's so many moments in the movie that make me laugh. And the more you watch, I mean, I guess any comedy, the more you watch it, the more you pick up on things, But that's one of my favorite elements. Besides it being a really, really strong movie when it comes to the filmmaking elements, every scene is really fun, And I did want to mention that there's one thing that really surprised me. I've seen Ferris Bueller so many times since it came out. But I really focused on the movie this time around. I mean, I know I've watched it before, but I took notes this time around, and I'm trying to figure out if the movie, Cameron Fry, might be the only character that changes in the movie. So is it really his movie? You know what I mean by that? I mean, I get like it's Ferris Bueller's Day Off and he's the main character, but he doesn't change or learn anything. But Cameron Fry really has a character arc in the movie. And at the end of the movie, when Cameron kicks the car, you know, and he says, oh, wow, you know, my dad's guy, he goes, I'm going to have to explain this. I can't hide this. You know, my old man's going to come home. He's going to see this. I can't hide this. And then Ferris Bueller's like, you know, he goes, let me take the heat on this. He goes, you know, I'll tell him it was my idea. I took the car. And Cameron says, no, I want the heat. And Ferris replies, no, you don't want this much heat. And Cameron's like, yeah, I do. He goes, you know, I'm gonna stand up to my old man. And then he has a moment where he generally changes. I mean, clearly, like his parents, you know, they have tons of money. His dad spends way more time, you know, buffing his car than spending time with his son. And I thought that was really interesting. Like, I never quite thought about it that much before. You know? I mean, is the movie really Cameron's story? I mean, Cameron comes in right away in the movie. He comes in very early on in the movie. And he's in the whole movie. At the end of the movie, he changes. You know? I mean, that's the only... The movie's very fun, and it's a comedy. It's a very, very light comedy. He's the only character that changes. And usually people change in movies. You know what I mean? Like, they learn something. I don't know. Give me your thoughts. You know, if you're going to watch this, and you have an opinion on that, I mean, I'd like to know that. I'd like to know what you think about that, about Cameron's, you know, if Cameron is, if it's his story, you know. Ferris Bueller's Day Off / you know, what did Cameron learn that day? So I think that's it for this video. I absolutely, oh yeah, the twist and shout moment. I don't know, man. When he does the twist and shout scene, it's the coolest thing ever. I know, like, everybody in the street does, like, you know, like the same dance and stuff, but when he takes that flow, it's fucking cool. It's one of the coolest scenes in film history for me. I guess that's it. I don't know. For me, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. I think it's such a tight movie. For movies that hold up, and this movie does not look dated. Like, I don't know, man. I just watched Daryl. That movie is dated. This movie, the quality, the film quality looked amazing. The comedy still felt current. The acting's superb. I mean, the principal, man. I just threw my paper behind the bureau next to me, so I don't know his name, but the principal was phenomenal in the movie. Phenomenal in the movie. He's such a good job in the movie. But 5 out of 5. It holds up like you wouldn't believe. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. If you've never seen it, you're a fucking loser. But or unless you're 10. But check it out. I cannot recommend it enough. It's on Netflix instant streaming right now. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. 2 thumbs up. 5 out of 5. Till next time, this is Greg with KillerReviews.com. And check out the KillerReviews.com. And check out the Killer Reviews podcast. And next time you're thinking about taking a day off from school, do it. Do it. Alright, till next time. Bye. Thanks for watching.